How many planets does our solar system currently have?
Uh, 8.
Hey y'all, it's Girl Boss Lena.
And it's Boss Babe Keela.
Oh, you sounded so handsome. Okay. Sorry. It's funny to me.
Take a two. Hey y'all, it's Girl Boss Lena.
It's Boss Babe Keela.
And I'm Bond Girl Jessica.
And that means today is
Whine Down
Wednesday, which
Woohoo!
means we are pulling from the magic jar, and today it is my turn to
Shake it like a salt shaker. Shake it like a salt shaker.
shake it, baby. shaking it. So let's see what we've got going on in here. And the question says, I think we talked about this a little bit.
Oh, Lord.
What do you do when other people's kids are running around the store?
Okay, that's your question.
Now y'all know. I can't stand some kids right
I hate it. I hate them climbing through the clothes racks. Like, what?
Just
like,
where are your parents? I also feel like we're in the day and age where you can't just let your kids just run everywhere and expect
run
them to
free.
be safe.
Right.
I will
No.
never. I watched a video of this guy trying to steal this little 6-year-old girl at a Walmart. He was like in his 20s. The little girl outsmarted him some kind of way, but she did, and she was able to get away from him and run to her parents. But
Right.
imagine,
You never know.
But imagine if she didn't. She's a little girl.
Right.
So having your kids running around the store is not only annoying to others, but it's extremely unsafe.
So, okay, go ahead, Jesse.
Oh, I don't know. Like, as somebody who's not a parent, I judge people and I'm like, I don't know if that's right because I'm not a parent. Because I'm like, why you got your kids out here like this? But I'm like, I'm not a parent. So I don't know if I have a right to say that, but that's what I say.
Yeah, you do. I'm a parent and I'm like, why y'all got your kids out here like this?
Let's talk about this because she just literally said, I'm judging you.
Well,
based on your
The one who doesn't care
right around this store
is now judgy.
judgment. Consider yourself judged.
Yes.
Yes.
She's judgy. Yeah, man. So what do you wish you could do when you see the kids running around the store?
Grab them by the hand and walk them to their parent. Where's your parent at? You need to keep an eye on your kid. Because they run around here. They ain't got no business running around here. You're going to lose one.
I want to trip one so bad. I just want one of them little motherfuckers to come running by and be like, boop. I just one time.
My husband and I, when we're out, we've seen this so many times and it freaks us out. And, people want to talk about, oh, you're a helicopter parent, blah, blah, blah. Maybe so. But I know where my baby is. And I don't let her out of my sight because people are ratchet these days. They really are. And I've seen they snatch your kids up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's so many. And some go undocumented too. So you just never know.
Yeah.
So I see this little 1-year-old baby just running, right? And I'm looking around, I'm like, where are the parents? Where are the parents? So then my husband and I, we're like we become like the honorary parents, and we're keeping an eye
watching
on someone else's kid to make sure that no harm comes to them. And we're
Right.
like looking at them and we're trying to figure out, like, when we do see somebody run up out of nowhere, we're like, okay, is that the parent? Does the
Right.
kids
Right.
know them? Because
Right. Right.
you then turned your back and let your little toddler just little Joey
With
is just running down
whomever.
the aisles. We've seen it so many times, and then my
Yeah.
husband and I look
Yeah.
at each other. We're just like, do you not want your kid?
Or the people who leave the kids in the car is the other one, is the same thing as leaving them unattended, pretty much. You know what I
And then
mean?
tell them don't talk
So
to nobody, but they roll down the window to talk to everybody anyway. Hi, who are you? And here's the thing: when you tell your kid not
not
to
to
talk to anybody or roll down the window, if they see another kid, they will
walkie
roll that
talkie.
window down and talk to them.
It's because the rules don't apply to another child.
Because you haven't taught them that the rules apply to another child.
Correct. Because that's usually the bait, is
Yes.
another child. You know
So
what I
I'll be
mean?
in the
So
car with my kids,
yeah.
and I can't tell you how many times we pulled up next to a car and there's our SUV and it's full of kids and they're in the car by themselves and they see my kids and then they want to roll down the window, hi, and they're waving and then my kids are talking to them and I'm looking at them like, you don't know them kids, shut up. But you know the thing,
Right.
they're still
Right.
sitting there, and where's the parents at? The parents are in the store. So now
Oh yeah. Yeah.
unattended.
Yeah. That's another. Yeah. Yep. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right.
Don't get me
But
on
yeah,
my
I don't.
soapbox.
It irks me. Kids climbing through clothes racks, or I don't see it now. Climbing through the racks is more like the bigger stores like Walmart or like Sears, or I just dated myself, but a department store, the mall. You see kids going through the wet racks like playing hide and go seek or trying to hide from their parents
I
or
was that
something.
kid,
But
but
the
my mom
kids
snatched me up.
But the kids that I see literally running through the store is like the Dollar Tree or like
Oh
something like
God.
that, and they are like booking around that store, and I'm like, y'all just uh, Auntie Lena gonna trip you.
Need to go get you.
Don't make me have my cane.
Okay.
I can't stand it. It drives me insane. It drives me insane. And then I don't know. Anyway, I don't know if that's just getting old, but I am judgy like that too, Jessica. I am
It's
judgy.
getting old, but I
I'm
think
not alone.
like seeing the danger in it too.
So what do y'all think about, like it's the parents, like they leave the babies in the car and the babies, some of them have passed, like
Mm-hmm.
they forgot or whatever. Is that something that's like an innocent mistake
I
or
don't
is
think.
it intentional? Because I just,
I don't think so.
Okay, so how you forget you have a kid?
I've
right,
never.
that's what I always wondered. But I'm
I
like,
could. I
are
could
some of them
I
honestly
so
have
tell you,
early?
I've
never
never forgotten
forgotten
any of my
my
kids in the car.
child. I mean, I may have forgotten a diaper bag.
Uh-huh.
I might have forgotten a toy or a blankie or shoe or something like that. But when you go to get your stuff out the back seat and you see the empty car seat, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Or when you go to put your stuff in the car before you leave and you realize there's no child in the car, how do you forget that you got a baby with you?
You
Like,
don't,
what?
because first of all, that baby's usually crying. Let's face it.
Thank
And even
you.
if they are
Thank
asleep or
you.
whatever, like your kids.
No,
There's no way to
no,
forget. It's like
no.
I've heard, okay, so a friend of mine once described it, and this is before I had a kid. I said, well, you know, um, how do you feel about having a kid or, leaving them with someone else? And she literally put it this way. She was like, it's like leaving your home and feeling like you left something on the stove,
Right.
or you forgot to turn the coffee pot off, or like you're always constantly in the back of your mind,
On
like,
alert.
you know,
Right.
you don't forget, like you're always worried about your kid, like where are they at, what's going
Right.
on, did they get out of the car, where are you at,
That's
those kind
like being at home and falling asleep on the bed or going to sleep and forgetting you have the kid in the living room watching TV. You don't
I don't.
forget that you
I
got a
go sleep on the
kid.
couch.
No, now, now, it's. I'm not saying that you can't inadvertently fall asleep and
Yeah.
whatever. But what I'm saying is intentionally, like going to bed and forgetting that you have, or intentionally leaving the car and forgetting that you have a child. How do you do that? That's the.
I think it's more along the lines of negligence. Period.
Yeah, I do too.
It's negligence. You're not paying attention to that kid, or you don't care about them. I call complete and utter crap on that. I'm sorry.
I
I
call
really do.
people, yeah.
Anytime those stories pop up on the news, I'm like, that's complete crap, and you shouldn't have had that kid to begin with.
We actually had a situation here in Georgia where there were two brothers that were in the back seat, and the dad got out and left them in the car and ran into the quickie mart or whatever at the gas station, came back out, and one little kid shot the other one in the head, and the little boy died. You know what I mean?
Not
But the dad
surprised.
had a loaded gun underneath the seat of the car. And we all know that the kids know that you got a loaded gun underneath the seat of the car, whether
Couldn't
they.
even leave my two teenage boys in the car by themselves without them getting in a fight. I came back, I thought one of my coffee mugs was broken because one had launched it at the other. And these were teenagers.
So can you imagine somebody that's like kids that are like 7 and 8 years old?
Thank God I don't carry any weapons, but still, like, really?
Right. It's the sense that people aren't really thinking, or they don't really think about the consequences of stuff with their kids, or they think about just themselves. I saw, the weather here is kind of like back and forth. Sometimes it's like almost 70, and then it'll be like 29 degrees, right? And I'm in Georgia, in Atlanta. So the other day I saw a guy or a young kid, I'll say young, he might have been like in his young 20s, real late teens,
Mm-hmm.
walking down the street with like a toddler or so. Now the teen had on a full jacket and everything. That baby didn't have on a damn coat, nothing. And I'm just like, if your ass is cold and want to put on a coat, don't you think you need to put the coat on the baby too? Like,
I feel like this is a whole nother topic because there's so many different uh, parents.
yes,
Some of these parents don't need to be parents. And
they
I'm gonna put
really don't. Caregivers, like watching the babysitter, like all of that, leaving the babies in the car, you know what I mean? Or the parents that don't, I know that sometimes it might be a cultural thing, you know what I mean? That
is
like
it?
the women can't discipline the
Mm-hmm.
boys. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's a cultural, or, like a religious
Mm-hmm.
type thing, but there gotta be a way you could beat that ass some some way, somehow, so they don't cut up like that. There gotta be a. I used to take a fork when we were out at the restaurant and my daughter was trying to cut up. Think I didn't stab them little chubby legs underneath the damn table, and she stood up, she sat up. Don't play. There's a way. There's always a way.
So my mom, she used to get the meat right here, right under that little fatty meaty part, and she would pull it out and twist. Don't you embarrass me up in here. And you sitting next to her like,
Don't please. He about trying not to cry.
get it. But she did. She would pull that little meat out and she'd twist and be like, shut up.
Mm-hmm. There's a way to fix these little bad kids. Got them running around stores and telling their parents no, and Auntie Lena coming to trip one of them little motherfuckers. I'm
Sometimes we
telling you.
really couldn't. And I know people are gonna have a whole, oh, that's abuse and you're advocating abuse. No, I'm not advocating abuse. And to me, there's a very distinct difference
There
between
is. There is.
somebody
There
who
is.
is just constantly whooping on their kids and things
It's
like
a
that.
different story.
There's There's a big difference, and they'll be like, "Oh, you shouldn't hit them at all," blah 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 blah. But I am under the belief that there are some children who do need a butt whooping.
There's
There
this
are some kids.
direct line
Not
from
all
the
kids.
ass to the head
Not
that
all
makes
kids are
the
created equal. Some kids you can talk to and you can reason with.
reason.
You never have to spank them. You never have to do anything like that. You can
Right.
talk with them. And that's a
Right.
difference of knowing your child too. But there are
Right.
some of these little knuckleheads out here that don't understand anything and they need a whooping.
Yeah, that's true. That's what I know. That's what my mom used to tell us. Like, all y'all are different. I got to deal with y'all differently.
All differently. Right.
Some of them you
Right.
need to tap them in. Like you gotta, okay, let's go tap you in because you ain't getting it.
She said tap
Tap
them
'em
in.
in.
Let's go tap in to some sense. And maybe after you've been tapped, you'll have a little bit
I
more.
told you there's a direct correlation or direct line from the butt to the head. It's like,
That's a
whoop,
direct mama
then
thing.
all of
It's
a sudden, like, act right.
For the most part, I was the type of kid that you could reason with,
Right.
if my dad talked to me and things like that, like he could reason with. But times where I got my behind tapped and I knew I needed to get my behind tapped
Right.
because I was doing
Right.
the most. And I have been
Right.
talked
Right.
to several times about none other than what? My mouth, because I was a little slick tongue.
No. Do
What?
tell.
Clutch your pearls. Who, me? But yeah, so I was tapped into some sense every now
Right.
and then.
Right. Oh. As we all probably need a little taparoo. You know what I'm saying? But them children who run across the floor and do all it at the stores and all of that, you got to also think about safety. I play about tripping somebody with my cane, but there are some times that I have to walk with the cane. So you don't always see that I walk with one. So what if I'm not walking with one that day because I'm feeling okay and this little comes running by and bumps into me and I fall? You know what I mean? So
And people
it's
don't
stuff
think
like
about that.
that. It's just
Mhm.
you got to have control of your kids pretty much, running through the racks and doing all that kind of stuff. I've worked in the mall in retail. It
Mhm.
sucks when them
Yes,
little
it does.
guys come and pull out all the shirts and you got to
And you gotta
refold all
put 'em
the
back.
things back. And
I
you know what
hated
I'm
that.
saying? Like, it's
I used to
actually
do retail as well, and I had to do all the color coordination and putting them back on the thing and the hangers and folding them and your little
by
terrible
size and all that.
everything.
Yeah, that's a whole thing. So, keep track of your children.
Mm-hmm.
Keep track of your children and tap, tap, tap a room. Tap that ass if they need
What's
to.
the song say? I said,
Not that like that. I'm
upside the
sorry.
head. I said, oops, upside
Pause.
the head.
Don't tap the ass like that. I'm just saying. Pow, 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 pow.
Oh gosh.
All right, y'all. That I think we
Anyone little Spanish clickers? Is it that time?
All right, y'all. We will see you next week.